What is your job and how long have you been doing it for?
And I'll be going to JP Morgan next year for investment banking.
So what do you think made you stand out in your interviews in investment banking?
I think I smile a lot. And one of the tips that I got from my mentor is if I ever stuck with a question or if I ever struggle with something, I always smile and try to keep the energy lighter. So it's more comfortable for the interviewer too.
What is the biggest mistake you see with students when they recruit for investment banking?
A lot of people view networking as kind of like a daunting job, but I think at the end of the day, the bankers is also human. And I get that advice early on, so I try to just talk about very personal stuff like travels and all that with the bankers that I networked with. And I think it helps humanizes them and also give me a better impression on them as well.
What do you think is the best question that you've asked in a coffee chat?
I try to be very personal with them though. So I would ask about their kid, because one of the bankers literally had his kid crying in the background in one of my chats. Some I just ask about travels a lot.
What do you think is the most underrated piece of recruitment advice that students just don't talk about?
About networking, they say I got the most help from just people around my age, networking horizontally with upperclassmen in school. I think that's where I get most support from, and also where I get most insights about recruiting from. So people should do that more.
Definitely. Yeah, what is it? Your network is your net worth.
That's true.
What is your biggest recruitment hot take?
A lot of people view recruitment as one big daunting task that they have to kind of center their life around.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's important to find balance and do a bunch of random things that build you up as a character as well, apart from just recruitment. So during recruitment, I was trying to do research. I was getting on podcast production crew. I was just trying to do a bunch of side quests to just complete me as a person, apart from just recruiting.
What do you think is the worst piece of advice that you've received and why?
I churned those out really quickly. I heard that if you don't prioritize recruitment, somebody else will, and that somebody else will get the offer.
Yeah.
But I also think it's really important to balance it out with other aspects, and it's not the end of the world. You don't get an offer, and it's not everything about